Hey everybody, today we're going to be making a old looking lantern that's kind of rusty looking and faded and antique from a new lantern that looks all nice and shiny. We're making this from this, and it doesn't really matter the color, it's just old and new and old. Okay kids, for today's video I wanted to give you a list of stuff that you need to make this lantern. Alright, starting off you need a lantern. This is just like one that was $5 at a dollar store or whatever. And it doesn't really matter if it's big or small, it doesn't matter. But just a little lantern. I mean, you could use an old lantern too if you want. I'm going to need some paints. These are like watercolor paints that you get at the craft store. This is like a school bus yellow. It doesn't have to be exactly that color. This is a barnyard red, which is kind of a rusty color. This is raw umber, which is a brownish, like a dark brown. These are folk art paints. I don't know, you can... We're going to need a candelabra socket. These are the little sockets that go with these little light bulbs, which I like to use. We'll get into more detail with that later. These are those little nightlight bulbs, which I think they're called C7 bulbs. Got them at Ace Hardware. You're gonna need some lamp. It's not lamped. It's lamp. You're gonna need some lamp cord, which is usually just 16 gauge wire. If you can cut it off something old and use that, you can do that. But you need the lamp cord and the plug, of course, that goes on there, like hardware stuff. We'll go into more detail with that later. Alright guys, for those of you who can't wait till the end of the video, I wanted to give you a sneak peek what it looks like with the light on. So here's the end result of when you get it done. So it has this nice old dirty kind of orangey look to it instead of having clean glass look like that. So the alternative to getting this socket is getting old Christmas light sockets. If you have any of these laying around, they work too. And these little sockets, you can just cut them off and use one of these. It's cheaper. Alright, tools are a wire stripper with the wire cutter is good. If you don't have that, you could try to use just some wire cutters. And your razor knife. Just a regular screwdriver with the straight slot. And a paintbrush for your paints, and a little stick to stir your paints with. And that's all I can think of for now. I'll think of some more things later, and we'll go into further detail. First thing we're going to do is make the cord, if you don't have a cord already. What you want to do is just take this cord, if it's a split cord like this, just grab one side of it and pull it apart like that. A couple inches, just pull it apart. Then, for you people who don't know how to strip wire, we'll do a little stripping thing. You grab it with the stripper, just pull, twist. For those people who don't have those things, you can take wire cutters and do it. You just have to not cut so hard. You have to grab it just lightly, I guess, and then pull it. And then twist your wires like that, so they're nice and shiny and twisty. Like that. You got these stripped, and most importantly, make sure, if you have a plug like this, make sure you put the little thingy on first, because it'll suck if you put the wires on and then you have to put this on after. So slide that thing on, that's the cover. And then you take your nice little wires, and you got these two screws here. I mean, it's going to be different if you have a different plug, but you make a little U shape like this. A little U, and then you slip it around that guy, usually going to the right because it's easier that way, like that, and just tighten that sucker down and do two of those. And make sure the wires don't touch because it will short out and you'll have to go flip the fuse box on again. Make a little U like that, and then you put this around. It's not going to matter which side because this is just a 2-prong plug and it doesn't really matter. What matters is these wires do not touch in the middle because it will short out. So make sure that these aren't too long when you do that, because then you'll be out turning the breaker on and off wondering why the lights keep shorting out. And for God's sakes, kids, do not plug this in until everything is put together, because I'm not going to be responsible for hurt feelings and stuff like that. Alright, there you go. 2 wires. This one's kind of a pain to get on and off, but slide your little deal on there. And voila, you made a, pat yourself on the back because you made a plug. Tell your wife and her husband and people that you made a plug, and so happy. That's one side, you got that done. Okay, here comes the real complicated part. You're going to put your wire into this guy. Why? Because it's fun. Alright, this isn't super complicated. What you do to take this glass off is you pull up this top, see that? And it has a spring, and they don't always fall out, but it has a hinge in the back where the glass, that's the way you can change the wick. So the glass just pops out. Make sure it doesn't fall out, because then you'll be getting another lantern at the store. Alright, once again, that is pull up the top like this, so it's off the top, and then just pull that back. And we're going to want to thread the cord down through the top here, your little lamp cord. And it's important not to put on this first, because then it won't fit, and you'll be unhappy with that. Alright, so we're threading it down through those vent holes at the top, your cord. And it doesn't matter because you just need enough room, couple inches, so you can work, maybe about a foot, so you can strip the wire and everything. Okay, now we've stripped the wires, because everybody is a master electrician because they watched the first part of this, and you know how to strip the wire and not poke yourself and make the little U in the wires. It doesn't get all fuzzy and unstranded if you twist it really good. Alright, so you got these sockets. Like I said, you could use any kind of sockets you want, but these are the candelabra sockets, which I guess you use for lights or whatever. But anyway, they have this little cardboard thing on there which just pulls off, and then you can slide that. I guess you could slide that back on there. Anyway, so just stick your wires through this part. How are we looking at this? Through the top part, wing that around. See, it's a lot easier than I'm doing it, but and one wire goes on one side and one wire goes on the other side. This is a lot harder than it really should be. Should not be this complicated. I shouldn't have to fight with wires. I mean, what did I ever do to them? Okay, you've put it through the little thing on the end, and you brought it out. Like I said, it doesn't really matter which. Normally you'd use, I don't know. If you had a dark wire and a light wire, you'd put the dark wire on the brass screw, but it really doesn't matter. But just loosen these up. Make a little U shape in your wire there. Come on, you're experts now. You know how to do this. Oh, yeah, I'm an expert because it's not going on there. I might have to edit this out because this is going to take a little bit more time because the screwdriver is not working good. And this does not want to go on there. Well, everything was going good earlier now, and somebody jinxed me. Probably my cat. Okay, after all that turmoil, we're going to... I don't know if I just got a sugar though or what. Alright. Like I said, don't leave your wires too long because you don't want them hanging out, shorting stuff out. Kids, now that we've got this electrical wire wrapped on there so it won't short out around the base of the socket. Just don't want it touching any metal there. We're going to break out some light bulbs. These little bulbs. And as long as these bulbs are good, and I plug this in, so hopefully this is going alright. Now see, now we're getting somewhere. So these, I forgot to mention, they're 4 watts. See that? 4 watts. So you can get them in different wattages, but this is just enough light to light it. And you could get a higher, bigger bulb if you wanted to. Doesn't really matter. I suggest you pull the bulb out before you try this next feat of ingenuity. Going to want to stick this back in there just to show you how this fits in here. And see how I just left this free so you can move this around. So when you go to put it back in, this complicated maneuver doesn't. So you stick this in like so, and then boom, light bulb. So you can adjust it after you get it in there. And if we were going to light it, we would put the bulb in there. So I just leave it hanging like that because it's supposed to be about where the burner is down here at the bottom. But once we get the inside, the painted part on the inside, it won't matter where the bulb is because you won't really see where it is. But anyway, see there, bulb and socket. So we're just gonna kind of leave that for now and go on to a different part. Okay, I did forget one thing on this materials thing. We need some Rust-Oleum Specialty Frosted Glass Spray, which is a spray that makes frosted glass. Duh. I don't know if this matters. Semi-transparent finish. I don't know. The more you spray on, the duller it gets. So what you get is with this frosting spray is you go from the clear glass to a frosted look. And it's kind of like, you know, those lamps and stuff that has like a dull, I don't know, sandy finish, whatever that is. We're going to spray that with Rust-Oleum Frosted Glass. It doesn't have to be Rust-Oleum, but it sounds nice. Rust-Oleum Frosted Glass. So we're going to go outside and spray this glass part. But first we'll take it out by pulling the spring part up and letting this rotate. This is always annoying with this bulb thing in here, but that's just one of those things. When you get this out, don't drop it. Just bend these wires down like this and just pull it out because these wires kind of hold it in there. So just yank that out, the glass part, and don't drop it because it'll be broken and then you'll be back at the dollar store looking for more. So we're going to go outside and spray that thing.